I want to go to our next caller. I want to get to Tim in Washington. Hey, Tim, you are live on Truth Wanted. What's going on, Tim?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing good. Doing
well.
good. I think we're
Waxing
doing
poetic.
good. Are we good, Eric? You
I don't
good,
know,
brother?
Dan. Are we good?
Eric just went on a whole thing.
Yeah, I'm waxing poetic. Help me. Get me out of this.
I heard that. It was really cool. Eric, before I get started, I wanted to say awesome on the D&D. I didn't know you played D&D.
First of all, wait, hold on. Time out. I do not play D&D. I've never played D&D in my life. So I'm not a fucking nerd like Eric is. Just kidding. I'm
Tim?
just there's a lot of O's in the studio right
Tim?
now. Everybody here has probably played D&D except me.
Yeah,
I
the
think
live
that's
chat's
the
going to
problem.
hate you.
So
here's the deal,
Public
Tim.
enemy number one has just been marked, and it is
I
me.
promise you, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to
It's
run
the
a
last-
one-off.
Do you know why?
And if I get the opportunity,
Hold on.
I will try and live stream
Side
it.
note, here's the reason why I bring this up. This is a big deal. It's the last like nerdy thing besides like LARPing that I haven't done. And
What?
I just want to keep that distance, you know?
No, embrace it. Embrace it.
Okay, anyway.
It's so good.
We'll talk about this
We're
later.
going to throw
Tim,
some dice. It's going to be great.
Tim,
We're going
you
to get
wanted to
pizza
talk about-
and Mountain Dew.
Jesus
Go
Christ.
ahead.
Tim, you want to talk about paganistic atheism, I see.
Right.
In the chat here. What does that mean?
Well, I've called before and let you know that I grew up in the Mormon church.
Yes.
I was saved and was a fundamentalist Pentecostal ex-gay minister and walked away from all of that and came out and then found paganism and atheism both at the same time. And
that you realized you were gay too, right? I do remember that. Like you thought you were an ex-gay and then realized that's kind of not a thing, right?
It's kind of not a thing. And of course
I was really hoping Tim was going to be
No.
that's not me.
Just to clarify, because Tim has called into the show before. Former pastor who was part of an ex-gay ministry and then did realize that he was gay still, that, right? And that it didn't kind of, whatever they did to you didn't really work, right?
Yeah, because, well, first of all, God is non-existent, so of course he's not going to change me. So, so all of that. So I was not changing, and I was making my ex-wife's life miserable. I was miserable. Our daughter was miserable, and I finally just said, you know what? I gotta just forget about this reparative therapy shit and move on with my life. And so that's what I did at 38. So.
Yeah, and it's a really incredible story. I can't remember which episode we talked about it, but I'm sure if you look up Tim from Washington and look up his call, I definitely recommend you guys check it out. But I do want to talk, again, more of this idea of paganistic atheism, because I'll be honest, I don't know what that means. Like, what is that paganistic atheism?
You know, I'm probably the only druid on the face of the planet who actually does not believe in gods or anything like that.
Wait.
I believe
He is Tim identifies as a pagan, as a druid pagan.
As a druid.
Yes.
Okay. So I rolled a druid a number of times. And
I'm actually playing a druid in one of my campaigns.
You know, and honestly, druids in World of Warcraft, that bear form is fantastic. What the hell is a druid, Tim?
Very well. My form of druidry is very just in tune with nature. If I am feeling very stressed out, one of the things that saves my sanity is to just go and sit underneath a particular oak tree in a park in our town, and I seriously just kind of ground myself. I don't think it's anything spiritual. I think it's just literally I'm there in nature and just kind of focusing on who I am in this world and that type of thing. Druids tend to really focus on the woo-woo, in quotation marks, magic of nature. I look at nature in a completely different way. I look at nature naturally, not supernaturally.
My understanding of druids is completely turned on its ear from this, because I need to completely redefine druid, or you, sir, are going to be ousted from the druid community as not meeting some prerequisite of something. Help me. What I mean, could we replace it? Are you not a druid? Maybe a naturemancer?
Yes. I'm a naturemancer. Yes. And I've been ousted from my coven because I'm an atheist, and I refuse to believe that the gods and goddesses are a thing. I believe that they are okay. Going back to Laura's conversation, they are kind of tulpas, as far as I'm concerned. They are kind of a visual. They're kind of a visual that represent a certain aspect of whatever you might be meditating on.
This is me weaving these concepts together now,
dude. This is like a tapestry. I'm seeing it. Tim is the hero of this story in a world. Tim railed against the system. Tim, you have to believe in the gods. I refuse the gods. Dum.
So yeah, okay. Tim, my understanding of druids is exactly as you described. It's just like, well, I think of like RuneScape, and it's like dudes in robes that like worship nature. To put it simply, right? It's like, and obviously there's different forms of that, and what exactly they worship and what they mean when they talk about nature. But like, I don't know what it means to be a druid and to be an atheist, because I've only known druids to know like nature gods or nature forces. I guess if it's not explicitly a god, I guess you could worship some sort of force of nature, or is worship even involved in that? I want to talk about that paradigm, because that's hard for me to. I'm with Eric here. It's hard for me to wrap around my head around that.
In my viewpoint, I don't necessarily worship anything. However, if I'm trying to focus on a particular aspect of my own life and how I want to either change it or how I want to calm down, I generally go toward the Celtic gods and focus on them and what they represent within nature, such as Cernunnos is the god of the hunt. And he is also representative of the green man who changes and walks through the wheel of the year, the cycle of the year.
Okay.
And so I kind of focus on that to see, okay, I'm looking for this change in my life. How can I make the steps? But I focus on Cernunnos. It kind of gives me that because we all sort of need a focal point in whatever we want to do. However we think, whether we meditate or whatever, there's some sort of focus that we as humans like. It's one of the reasons why we have tens of thousands of gods out there.
Okay. So let me try to break this down to see if I understand, because I think I get what you're saying. You don't necessarily believe in the literal truth of any of these stories. Let's call them, I don't know, druid stories, right? Pagan stories.
Myths.
But you find inspiration from the fiction enough to where it does inspire and guide your life in many ways. Is that kind of
very much so?
Okay, yeah. So like I like this idea. So I was a Boy Scout. I guess I still am. I got a lot out of nature growing up. I went on camping trips all the time, and one could say I meditated on nature and my role in nature and what that means and stuff. And like I could definitely see how if I attach that to a mythos, that becomes a bit more real to me, and that becomes kind of a guiding principle. And it doesn't have to, it can be with anything. I know people who have gotten really inspired by Harry Potter and have wanted to live their lives like more of the characters in those stories. So yeah, I can totally see what you're coming at here. Do you get what he's coming at here, Eric?
I agree. We're open-minded.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there is truth wanted here.
Yes.
And we're agreeing that there is no truth in this statement, simply that these are tools to help you, correct?
So, yeah. Well,
Right.
Tim,
Right.
yeah,
Cool.
Tim's not saying the literal truth of any of these
Okay.
mythos. He's not saying, this, I don't know, druid being definitely exists. This druid force definitely exists. But he's saying it's more of a guiding principle.
It's a druidic.
Druidic? Yeah, I guess so.
Thank you.
I guess so.
Druidic,
Naturemancer.
yeah.
So here's my question, Tim, because I feel like at least I have a deep appreciation for nature, and I'm also an atheist. Can I be a druid too? What's the requirements there?
You could be a druid. You could be one of my grove members.
I don't know. I don't know what that means, and I don't know if I want to be a part of your grove. To be honest with you, one guy. Look, I'm sorry. I already got the offer to go into a magic forest with a wizard who said I was a wizard. So I'm just kind of taking a step back from offers of.
Get me. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I was really offering.
Okay. Yeah.
A grove is a druid version of a coven, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what the druids call their covens.
Eric's like, I've played D&D. I know this, right?
Dude, you do not want to fall down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
No,
that's exactly right.
I will throw a
D&D
one-off
people right
tonight.
Someone on Discord is going to message me and like get me started in a D&D session now. Like that's what's going to happen. I'm going to be against my consent thrown into a D&D game.
No, we are going to roll you up a character.
Oh shit.
And you know what?
Can I be a giant?
Yeah.
Tim?
There we go.
No.
Yeah.
He's going to be a paladin.
Anyway,
Right?
I see him as a paladin.
Right?
so hold on. Somebody said I was a wizard. I'm
know.
sticking to that.
Yeah, the whole studio audience is like, yeah, paladin.
Paladin? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because we got one more call here. I don't want to let the show go too long, but I do want to kind of finish on answering this kind of question, Tim. Like what makes the requirements of me being a druid or anyone to be a druid? What does that look like?
God, it's really kind of visceral in my. It's not really. You can't really pin it down. Really, it's how you want to live your life. I'm sort of on the periphery of druidry, basically because I don't believe that these gods are real. It's really just a respect and a desire to protect nature and to sort of really get in tune with nature. With like my being able to ground at the roots of the old man. That's what I call my favorite oak tree. When I sit at the base of the old man, I'm able to be grounded. I'm able to connect with the earth and to actually sort of get life from just being in nature. So, it's really that basic. It's not even really a thing that, and there are books out there about druidry that are, they tend to be woo-woo. You can cut out the woo-woo and go with a more nature-based, more natural, less supernatural.
You have something to say, Eric. What do you have to say?
I'm appreciating this. We're starting to draw slow here. So my inner pacing is like, come on, Tim.
Well, Tim, I do want to say thanks.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good, Tim. It is all good. I appreciate you calling in.
It's Dan's show.
I
got to show.
Listen, if you want to appreciate nature, Eric.
Tim, he's going to hit me.
No, that's not true.
It's going to happen.
That's not true. We got a video here. It's not going to happen. If you want to appreciate nature, Eric, you got to take things a little slow. Go go outside and sit next to your oak tree. I encourage all the listeners at home, go outside and sit next to a tree. I guess it's not an oak, wherever you are. Some of you don't live by oak trees, but let's.
But oaks are nice.
Oaks are nice. That's true.
Nice.
But you have other tree options. Anyway, I want to give a thanks to Tim again for calling in. Thank you, Tim. And I would like to explore more druidic concepts in the future. But until next time, I want to give you a thanks for calling in again and telling us about your experiences. And I look forward to hearing from it soon. I'm just trying to wonder, am I a druid now because I like nature?
No.
Is that just... Because that's kind of what it sounded like. No.
So I will teach you the ways of Dungeons and Dragons. It will happen.